I'd like some Trews, you'll get some Trews shortly. Where is the Trews? This is the Trews theme tune. Here comes some Trews with me and Alain de Botton, the philosopher. Thank you for joining us for some Trews.
Such a pleasure to come down from the ivory tower.
You'll notice that I touch you with things like that.
That's fine, because yeah.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah,
You're from Switzerland, where people like to be fenced in.
Yeah.
What do you think about this story? Giant bird that sprints at 40 miles an hour can kill a man. It's on the loose in Hertfordshire. What does this mean? What do you make of that?
Well, it's part of the long campaign to keep us very scared. Because if we're very scared about all sorts of things, then we won't notice the things that really matter. So, there's not that much that's really scary out there. But they've invented a giant bird. And the giant bird is running around in Hertfordshire. And there's something about a giant bird in Hertfordshire. There's, the language is clashing there because Hertfordshire safe.
Yeah, hurricanes hardly ever happen. I remember from My Fair Lady. That's one of the things she has to learn in Hertfordshire. Hurricanes hardly ever happen.
Right, exactly. But the giant bird is here in Hertfordshire.
Don't worry about hurricanes. There's a giant bird.
And
it can kill you.
It can rip a man. Kill a man. It can kill a man, not a woman. It can kill a man.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Why a man?
That's
not a person. A man.
Yeah.
It's a giant bird against man.
Finally, it's come down to this.
Yeah. Right. So survival. So basically, it's still saying that we are fighting for survival. Tough old world out there. What will get you? Could be a bird, a giant bird.
So when you leave your house,
be afraid.
Over both shoulders.
Scared.
Could be an immigrant. Could be a gay. Could be a bloody great big bird coming to get you. It's a South American bird. Retired teacher Ray Murdoch caught sight of the fugitive, they're calling it a fugitive, as he cycled through the village of Nuthampstead. Do you think this is like, when it's saying things like Nuthampstead and Hertfordshire, do you think that there's an air of irony, awareness? Is the Daily Mail a self-aware entity in the way that, say, the Sun is? The Sun sort of has a bit of a nod and a wink.
I don't think so. I mean, it would be nice if they were chuckling, going, come on, we're just going to make this up. I don't know, there's no joy. The Sun is more joyful, in a way.
Yes, it is,
The Mail is mean. As we know.
It is a bit mean.
It's a bit mean.
You're going to get pecked to death.
And meanwhile, it's telling you to save fuel. You've got a Tesco advert here that's helping to pay for the bird. so you've got to worry about the bird and save. And it's all about keeping you scared and saving. And
it really is, isn't it?
A good, careful, scared citizen.
Using cannabis just once a week harms your young brains. For God's sake.
So much to be scared about.
Cancer risk from being too girly. Alright, I'll be more macho then. Or too macho! There's nothing you can do. You've got to stay at the exact level of sexual identity.
What is really scary? What should we be really scared of? This is all nonsense. What should we
This is all nonsense. There's no giant bird.
There's no giant bird. The cannabis doesn't matter. What should we be really scared about? Wasting our lives, not being kind.
Yes, we're going to die.
We're going to die. I mean, really, what you say is everybody's going to die of a natural, not by a giant bird. But just, the heart will give out aged around 80.
Aged around 80? And your heart will give out?
Yeah. And the real danger is that we waste our lives. And
you were probably wasting it saving money on fuel and worrying about giant birds.
So I think that's,
So why can't they print stories about our real legit... I mean, if they're using fear anyway, and there is a legitimate reason to be fear, what is this process of negotiating where the fear is designated?
So the normal thing is they just want to sell newspapers, but I don't believe that human nature is that bad. I think it's the easiest way to sell a newspaper is to get people worried about a bird. But I think that you could sell just as many newspapers, a little bit of cleverness about nice things. I'm a real optimist about human nature. I think that if they tried a bit harder, they could tell us really true things, and they could also make money. Right. But I think that it's easier to do it via a bird. You don't have to think about it. But in the future, in the utopia of the future, we'll learn how to make money and be good. We haven't quite solved that one at the moment. It's quite easy to make money and be bad. So I think the real challenge is how can we not sell line, cork, cod,
Yeah, because the mind responds more to negative information more quickly.
Exactly.
Line, cork, cod. Delicious.
For Easter, in fact, it's so incongruous. Because Easter's all about, the sacrifice of the Son of God.
Jesus died for you. Fish? What about something like this, Alain, that sort of seems, is its innocuousness part of its charm?
Sweet incentives.
This is a dull, boring car. I mean, this isn't a Ferrari, like you said, a Ferrari that the drivers of which should be pitied.
Should be pitied. But what's it? Eye candy. It's playing on the thing that we really all want, which is that thing.
What is it? Sex?
Yeah.
I thought it was
love,
that.
tenderness,
love, yeah.
sweetness. And then they just slipped in a voxel. We were about to get the eye candy, and we got the voxel instead.
Eye candy? I'd love some eye candy. You're getting a voxel. Shut up. Go to your room. Okay. I see. So so they stimulate desires that are legitimate and genuine, and then designate them wherever they want to.
Exactly. Because we haven't yet worked out how to sell the things that are really meaningful. So advertising is selling us things that, and it's using our real appetites to sell things we don't want.
Alan,
in the future, we'll get it right.
This is because these commodities cannot be sold, isn't it? Because isn't this emanating from the sort of the
it can't
economic?
It can't be sold. But our desires can be exciting. I mean, if there were lots of adverts reminding you how nice it is to be alive, to be tender, to be kind, to be sensitive, that's a really useful reminder. We need these reminders. I mean, we need billboards, because we forget everything.
Now, the Trews ends with a reading of something intelligent. So this is Ram Dass, who's... Because I sometimes think that you philosophers, Nietzsche, you, all them lot, you're too into normal thinking, whereas me, I love a bit of the old mysticism so that I can bring people together into one coalescent revolutionary force to pound forwards, bashing down the doors of the mighty. The subject of death, says Ram Dass, is a topic most of us would generally rather avoid. The Gita, Bhagavad Gita, tells us, as the dweller in the body experiences in the body childhood, youth and old age, so passes he onto another body. Certain is death for the born, and certain is birth for the dead. Oh, that's nice. Over the inevitable, you should not grieve. That's the basic position the Gita puts forward. But people have been reading the Gita for years, and at the same time grieving over death, and remaining incredibly afraid of it. Why, Alan? What's going on?
By not confronting death, the fear that should accurately be focused on death starts to seep out, it grows, and it starts to latch onto inappropriate targets like ostriches,
yes, I'm
strange
scared of them.
birds, meteorites,
there could be one.
Immigrants, etc. So what we need to do is to confront the things that are really scary with dignity, with sober focus, and be freed from fears that are otherwise running around. I think that fear grows if you don't look at it. That's why I'm a great believer in sitting down with your fears, writing them down, talking about them with a friend, so as to kind of neutralise them.
Even normal fears like, oh, I'm not good enough for my wife, or
absolutely.
I don't think I'm a good dad, or what if the dog loves someone else?
Yeah, you need
Put down those fears.
Put down those fears.
And then what?
Analyse them so as to make them lose their sting. I mean, you need...
What if they gain more sting?
No, they never do.
There's no more sting.
They never do. The background anxiety that most of us suffer from is a symptom of the fact that we don't allow enough time to work through inner experience and neutralise some of those stray fears and phantoms of the mind. Because the mind is... Our mind is a bit sick. So we need to regularly cleanse it, put it in order, calm it down, etc. But, of course, a busy world out there, and we're kept purposefully very busy on the hamster wheel, and the more you don't think, the more the background anxiety grows.
So we're distracted from truth,
yes.
And so we're unable to deal with the reality of our lives, so all these diffuse fears spray out willy-nilly like a punctured hose, diffuse fears about immigrants and whatnot.
Exactly, they latch onto things. Freud them called them neuroses. They're symptoms of fears of genuine fears that have not been analysed properly. So that's why we need to spend time thinking.
Do some thinking, you lay about. That is some truth. So we can all be philosophers, can we? Not just you.
We have to be.
We've all got to be one. Why aren't you doing any philosophy?
It's ridiculous that academics tell us you've got to go and get a PhD, etc. Philosophy just means a devotion to an analysed life, and that is everybody's responsibility rather than some optional thing you do if you go and get a PhD.
Get out there and analyse your life. Stop reading this. We don't need this anymore. Right, we've got to keep the truths going now. I quite like doing it. But in a way, we might abandon it. That was some truths with Alain de Botton. That's the first time I've tried to put someone's name in a theme tune. Some truths with Alain de Botton. The truths with Alain de Botton. Dun 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 dun. Thanks.
Thank you.
This is a special truths because we've got a philosopher that we've captured. We've captured him from his normal life and trapped him in here. So this will be over 2 parts. The next episode of The Truths will also be with Alain de Botton. That was some truths. This is a double truth. It's really true, but if something's doubly true, does that mean that it's mendacious and untruthful? Who knows? It's paradox. Dum 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 dum.